Splatterhouse. Two words that when combined create a total phantasmagoria of gore and violence. You know, good old-fashioned wholesome fun. Growing up, I didn't get to experience the Splatterhouse series because we never owned any of the consoles that the games were ported to. I guess everything else does what Nintendo don't. Recently, I got the urge to play the old Splatterhouse games, but doing so would be a costly endeavor. Or so I thought.
You see, a few years ago, back before I was even aware of the old Splatterhouse series, I had bought Splatterhouse for the PS3. I did so because I'm a big Mastodon fan, and I found out that their music was used in the game. So I went out and picked up a copy. Little did I know that my taste in music would lead me to an incredible game series. True, the gameplay of the Splatterhouse series was nothing innovative, but the content greatly pushed what was acceptable at the time.
And it's because of all that gore and brutality that the games never made it to a Nintendo console, and in association never made it to me as a kid. But don't you worry, I got my fill of all that from 80s horror movies.
The reason why it's not a costly endeavor to play the old Splatterhouse games is because you can actually unlock them by playing Splatterhouse for the PS3. This is a little tidbit of information I had forgotten, and has since made me kick myself. I could have been playing the classic games for years.
But again, in order to unlock those games, you first have to play Splatterhouse for the PS3 or Xbox 360. So let's talk about that game for a little bit. How does it hold up, both on its own and in relation to the other games?
Well, for starters, the story and character development are greatly expanded on, as evident with the opening cinematic. We're tossed headfirst into the nightmare as Rick lies on the floor with blood pouring out of his body, and then comes the terror mask.
He took your girl, Rick. He took your dreams. And he took your life. Dr. Henry West, MD. He took it all. Only thing you got left is your soul, and that belongs to me.
Does that voice sound familiar? That's because it's the voice actor Jim Cummings, who provides the voice for many beloved children's cartoon characters, including Winnie the Pooh and Tigger.
I ain't your mama, asshole.
The Terror Mask dialogue alone is worth it to play this game. Jim Cummings really brings new life to an old, well, face, or mask.
Oh yes, just like old.
The next noticeable change from the original games is the departure from 2D gameplay in favor of 3D. However, there are segments of the game that do throw back to the original 2D style. Some gamers think these segments are too challenging or unforgiving, but they really aren't bad once you adapt to them.
But wait! There's more!
In addition to the new playstyle, there's a feature that allows players to upgrade Rick's abilities. By using blood points that are earned by destroying enemies and objects, Rick can gain more powerful moves and also strengthen his defenses and weapon durability.
Another big change from the original games is the music. The original games all used creepy 16-bit music. This game uses a mix of orchestral music as well as heavy metal songs from various artists. Because gore and heavy metal just go hand in hand. Remember how I said I was drawn to this game because it featured music by Mastodon? wait a minute, what the hell? That's not Mastodon, that's a knockoff of Mastodon. Well, while the game does feature songs by the original artists, it also has alternate renditions by studio musicians. I couldn't tell you why though, maybe it's got something to do with a licensing agreement. It's not really a big problem, just a little curious.
Something that is a big problem, though, can be summed up in 3 words: quick time events. Probably the worst part about Splatterhouse for the PlayStation 3 are the pesky quick time events. They pop up all over the place, but usually as finishing moves while you're fighting monsters. When you perform them in these instances, you're rewarded with some pretty gnarly kills. These aren't the really annoying quick time events though. No, those are the ones that are used during boss encounters. If you mess up on those quick time events, odds are it will result in an instant death. This is a problem because when you die, you're sent back to the loading screen, and unfortunately, this game has some long loading times. To make matters worse, on rare occasions, the game has been known to glitch out and freeze during the loading times.
So what are my overall thoughts on the game? Well, I have to recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the earlier games. Not only is it a fun third-person beat-em-up that will satisfy even the greatest of bloodlusts, but it's a pretty cheap way to get your hands on the original games because otherwise that can be pretty expensive. I'm Joe from The Wrong Channel. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Quite a retro review because it's not that old of a game. So it's just kind of gonna be a separate review all on its own. But again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and have a great day. Splatterhouse! Got some drums there. Symbolism. What's the symbology of that? Symbolism is the word you're looking for. Symbolism.